Welcome to some frequently unasked questions.
Question 11. What are the typical mistakes hiring managers make?
Hiring managers, that's an interesting one. The first one is they see recruitment as a chore. It's an interference to doing their day job. Recruitment is the single most important job any manager has within sales. If you take a moment to contemplate this, roughly 1 in 200 candidates is an A player, and attracting them is tough. You might find another 8 to 10% are good, strong B players. The rest are average or that lower layer of mush. People who can hardly breathe unaided. And if you're spending your time trying to make recruitment something that goes away instead of constantly recruiting, with that 1 in 200 conversion rate from candidates to A players, that means you need to be meeting roughly 4 candidates per week, whether you have a vacancy open or not. So that's the first thing. Recruitment is the single most important job that any manager has, because most management problems start in bad hires in the recruitment process. The second is looking at the wrong end of the problem. In previous videos, I've talked about leading and lag indicators. The things that most managers and HR departments and recruiters look for are lag indicators. They say that Marcus used to be good up until the moment he applied for my job. These are things like skills, experience, historical results. And those are all backward looking. They don't tell you whether Marcus was lucky, whether Marcus was being carried, whether Marcus inherited a bunch of accounts where he didn't really have to do anything other than show up. The skills, experience and results are not predictors of success. They may be a useful differentiating factor when you've got candidates, 2 or more candidates, who all make it past the must-have requirements in terms of attitudes and beliefs, their cognitive ability and their habits. So attitudes and beliefs about money, the customer, the marketplace, the competition, charging a lot, the cognitive ability. Cognitive ability is the ability to learn on the hoof, under pressure, to adapt to the current environment. Darwin was never talking about survival of the thickest skinned or the brawniest when he's talking about survival of the fittest. He's always been talking about survival of the ones who could adapt best to the current environment. And the most important of all is habit. What people do in the past, they will continue to do in the future. And if you're looking for someone to do new business, you better be looking for a prospecting habit. If you're looking for someone who's going to close business, then you need to see a closing habit. If you're looking for somebody who is willing to kick open the doors, then you need to see somebody who has consistently and repeatedly made phone calls, used social media, developed referral partnerships, used networking to get in front of more and more decision makers consistently. So looking at the wrong end of the problem and really not understanding the predictors of success. Thanks for joining me today. If you've got questions about sales, sales management, sales recruitment, then please feel free to fill them in the comments below.